In this video, I'm going to show you how to add some more bat speed, add some more juice, and have a little bit more consistency in your at-bats. Now, this video is for serious players who are trying to be great players only. If you are not a serious baseball player and you are not trying to get a D1 scholarship or play at a high level, then this video is not for you. You probably want to click away. There's lots of other things to watch on the internet, but this is, again, it's for serious players only. So if that is you, you're going to want to stick around. My name is Andy Barquette. I played professionally for 11 years, coached for another 18, was a major league hitting coach for the Boston Red Sox in 2018 when we won the World Series. Coached a lot of great players. Currently, I teach privately, both online. I have a remote training program and then teach players on person. I've worked with over 200 athletes in the last year, both remotely and in person, and getting great results, seeing a lot of players get better, just basically taking major league teachings and experience and giving them to players who are open to wanting to get better and learn. They want to learn how Mookie Betts learned. They want to learn how JD Martinez learned. So I have my bag of tricks and my tools, and I take them through a process and a program, both remotely and in person, where players get results. I have hundreds of players, like I said, in every major conference, professional baseball, from Major League All-Stars all the way down to travel ball players and everybody in between. And again, getting tons of results. Players are getting better using the program. But today's training is about getting a little bit more juice. So I'm going to use the Power Pivot, a tool that I invented. You can go to Power Pivot USA. Anybody who's watching this, Power Pivot USA, put in Power 15 at the checkout, and they'll give you 15% off and free shipping. And that's just my thank you for watching my video. But this is a great tool because this is basically step one of this video, and that's learning how to get into my back hip and be consistent with that. And that's why we invented the Power Pivot. It plugs right in to your heel. Let me see if we can make sure and get it on camera where my back heel connects right to the Power Pivot. I feel the pressure in my heel, and that automatically just helps me roll into my coil of my back hip. So when I have that coil of my back hip and I'm able to maintain that as I make my forward move, hopefully I'm getting ready to launch the swing here because now I'm super connected. And you want to make sure that you feel that hip connection and you feel that coil on every forward move that you make, because the takes are important as well. You want to be able to hold that ground, because then when you're able to do that, your head stays still. Now you're still anticipating and still in motion. But if you want to add power and bat speed, you have to be consistent with barrel accuracy, and that starts with your loading action. That starts with you getting into your back hip early, making sure you're feeling that coil, and making sure that you're getting consistent with this in your daily work. So once we have a consistent loading action, then we can create that stretch that we're looking for. And that's really what gives us the juice, is the ability to get stretched and then uncoil to and through the ball. Now, these movements can be trained. A lot of people get into the swing up and the swing down. Ted Williams taught us years ago in his book that there's a slight upswing. But as a hitter, you want to feel like you're working down above the ball. But feel versus real, there's been a lot of talk about this. Like, do you start your hands down? Yes, but then you turn the barrel. And then you get on plane, and then you stay through the ball. And I think we all argue about this, but I feel like that we all can kind of come to a consensus that is something that needs to happen. I've talked to lots of different hitting guys and even demonstrated with movements that I know look and feel a certain way and said, is this what you're talking about? Yes, that's it. And we can go the spectrum of hitting guys, but at the end of the day, everybody needs to have good posture. Everybody needs to have really good loading and consistent loading action. And then everybody needs to turn and connect with their back hip and stay on plane through the ball. These are kind of a must. Now, everybody's got a different style, a different way of getting to those points, but number one, you got to get into your back hip, and then number two, you have to make sure that you space out your movements. So when I was a kid, I used to play with dominoes, and I liked the dominoes to knock them, and then they would go and make the little snake and the whole deal. And the dominoes only work well if they have good spacing. If they're too jumbled or too close together, there's no flow, and the same thing happens to your swing. You want to make sure that you have really good spacing. You want to make sure that you're able to have time and space to turn behind the ball, connect, and then finish that move and allow that hip to continue to rotate. But that all starts again with your back hip and being consistent. So if you want to start from the ABCs, it's the ground up like you've heard a million times, but that actually means I coil into my hip and then hold that coil. And I really don't want to get too much weight on that front foot before this swing is started. If our front foot lands and there's pressure in our front foot and weight on our front foot, then this hasn't started yet, we're in a lot of trouble. We're going to swing all arms, and that's when those rollovers happen. So just recapping, number one, you got to get in your back hip. We got to create that curveball hitting body, that slow separated body. And then we're going to turn behind the ball, connect, and create some fastball hitting hands, and then maintain a line drive hitting head. Shout out to Ernie Rossow, former college coach and major league hitting coordinator that coined those phrases. Phrases have stood the test of time. So again, make sure we're getting into our back hip, consistent loading action, making sure that we're turning and connecting and keeping our head still, staying to the middle of the field, having really good direction, and learning just to control your core. Super important in developing a young hitter to develop really good work habits, really clean and repeatable work habits, so those work habits start to show up in the game. Baseball is a game of duration. The season is long. And so over time, we want to get a little bit better so that at the end of the season, we're at our best and we're making really clean, repeatable moves, and we're able to take that into the summer and then into the fall and so on, and we continue to grow and develop. So my program has had a lot of success in getting players better, using drill packages to create really clean and efficient movements, as well a mental skills program, implementing subjects like core, championship mindset, ownership of process, relentlessness, and enthusiasm. And then lastly, WINNER. It's another acronym that I teach from. So great package, a lot of players getting better, a lot of players benefiting from my remote program. If you're a serious player and you're looking to go to the next level and you've searched all over the internet and you've probably come up a little short in finding really experienced people to teach you, Instagram, Holistic Hitting, send me a DM and we can see if it's a fit to work together.